everybody. My name is Anissa, your favorite sassy coffee queen, and I'd like to thank you for joining me for This Is All Anissa, a video series where I bring you tips and tricks about how to make your life easier, less stressful, and find ways to bring you joy. I have been working in the events and hospitality industry for too many years to count, and I love to bring you some amateur advice on my observations about our world and life in general. Today, I want to talk to you about something that I was talking to my friend Christina about, which is how to find time for yourself. She has a lot going on in her life right now, and I told her about a year ago I was in very much the same boat in that I had a lot of different things going on, and I also could not find time for myself. So I had decided to wake up earlier. Ugh. Not being a morning person, that was not an easy decision to make, and it was not an easy habit to create either, and it is still one that I struggle with to this day. And I thought it was sort of funny that we were talking about it this morning, because just on Tuesday on my Instagram page, I had posted 3 tips for how to wake up earlier. And it was a reminder for myself as much as it was for anybody who follows me on that page, because I constantly need a reminder to do that. And the reason I do it was specifically so that I could find time for myself. I am doing a 100-day walking challenge where I have challenged myself to walk 100 days in a row. And to get that done most days means I have to get up in the morning to do that. That is something that I do just for myself. There is so many things that, especially as women, we encounter all throughout our days. We get pulled in many different directions. A lot of people want and vie for our time, that it is really hard for us to carve out time for self-care. And I tend to find that, at least in my circle, a lot of us put other people ahead of ourselves. So how do we find time for ourselves and still get everything done that we want to get done? Because we love to do things for those that we love, and our days tend to be packed up and get very filled with obligations. So for me, the only way I could do things like that was to wake up earlier, right? But how do I do that without walking through my day exhausted? Literally exhausted all day, and then not really care about self-care, because all I care about is sleeping. So here are some things that I did. So tip number 1 for getting up earlier so I could do self-care was to determine my wake-up time. So if you Google how do I wake up earlier, you will find one reference after the other, that the most successful people get up at 5 a.m., blah, 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 blah. So I tried to get up at 5 a.m. I read books about how to get up at 5 a.m. I Googled how to get up at 5 a.m. I attempted to get up at 5 a.m., including on weekends, because people will tell you that consistency is the key, and everybody can get up at 5 a.m. if they do it 7 days a week and never change the time that they get up. They always get up at the same time every day, and that's your problem, is that you only do it Monday through Friday and you don't do it 7 days a week. They are wrong. If you're not a morning person, it doesn't work no matter what. But I did it. I did it every day. And there's people who say like, oh, at 20 days, it becomes a habit. And then if you read the 5 a.m. club, it says 120 days, 122 days, it becomes a habit. I never made it that far, I'm not going to lie. But I was not very good at getting up at 5 a.m. I was cranky and exhausted and didn't like it very much at all. And I have to tell you, people around me didn't like it too much either. So my advice to you, and tip number 1, is to find your wake up time. And it's not going to be the same as mine, and that's okay. So I know what time I have to get up, not being a morning person. That very last second I can get up to get ready to start work on time, right? So a year ago, that's different than it is right now. That time involved a commute, right? Now it does not. That commute time now goes from my bedroom to my office, which is across the hall. That's the commute time. But a year ago it involved, you know, getting ready, putting on clothes, makeup, jewelry, getting in the car and getting to work, right? So we do have some extra time built in now. Now we have that little bit of extra already built in. We may hopefully still have that. It's been a while, so maybe some of you do, some of you don't. But it's finding a time that is between that very last minute you have to get up and get ready for work, that glorious time that if you're not a morning person that everyone says you should get up, it's someplace in there, someplace where you cannot be grumpy. I tried the 5 a.m. I was grumpy and miserable. 7 a.m. was too late. I couldn't get anything done. I could maybe do one or two things that I wasn't really getting a whole lot done that I wanted to do for self-care. But if I got up at 6, for me, it seemed civilized, okay? That's what I call it. 6 a.m. is civilized. So I could get up at 6. I can go for my walk, take a nice hot shower, get all ready for my day, maybe do something a little bit extra, be creative in some way that makes me happy, and then start my regular work day. So 6 a.m. is my wake up time. It's what works for me. I'm a happy person. I love my morning walks. I am a generally smiley, happy, creative person throughout my day when I do my 6 a.m. Also, it doesn't really affect me that much when I sleep in a little later on the weekends. I'm still able to get up on Monday at 6 a.m. with no problems. So I don't have to worry about that need to get up every day at the same day or it doesn't work crud that they tell you on the internet. So that's tip number 1. Find your wake up time. Gives me enough time to get up, do something for myself. That is some self-care. I like to exercise by walking. Doesn't have to be crazy. Some people like to do a little crazy. Good for you. You do you. Some people like to be creative. Some people just like to make coffee and read. Some people like to do their writing pages. Some people like to watch the sun come up. Whatever it is, you do you for your self-care. That's number 1. Number 2 is do not hit the snooze. I'm going to say this again because I have a niece out there who would need to hear it twice. Do not hit snooze, okay? Very important. If you just spent all that time figuring out what your happy time is for wake up that you can do, why do you need to hit snooze? If that is your time to wake up, then set your time instead of 6 a.m., set it for 6:07 or 6:08 or 6:09, whatever that snooze time is, set it for then. That part of science I sort of believe in because you really do sort of fall back to sleep in that time and then you're jarred awake again. Sort of not good. I have done the set the alarm and not hit snooze and then set the alarm and hit snooze. I promise you, I have tried this. Not hitting snooze, you wake up more energized. You get out of bed. I'm not saying I didn't have to blink myself awake and I didn't have to lay there for a second and wonder what's going on. I wasn't startled awake. I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm saying that not hitting snooze and not going back to get, not giving yourself that little bit of like extra security, forcing yourself awake and saying, I'm going to get up now, works. You don't have to jump out of bed like Superman's flying out and, you know, out of the telephone booth. You just have to wake up and go. Like, if you have to use Mel Robbins' 5-second rule, alarm goes off, you hit it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, feet on the floor. If that's what you got to do, do it. Trust me that not hitting snooze does work. Okay. That's that part of the science part that does work. Google it. I don't get science. So you guys go ahead and Google that and figure that part out. Okay. And the third tip for you is, this is not popular also, but I'm going to put it out there. No electronics for an hour before you go to bed. 1 hour before bed, no electronics. So take your phone, put it on the charger, put it in the other room. No electronics. Something about the blue light, get all that. We talked about how I don't do the science part. I don't. But just disconnecting from the world really helps you set your mind for bed and sleep. And getting a good night's sleep obviously helps you wake up earlier and get you started for your next day. So it also helps set your mind and your body to being ready for bed. So like muscle memory. Do you ever notice batter gets in the batter box? They do the exact same thing every time they get in the batter's box. Pitcher gets on the mound. They do the exact same thing every time they get on the mound. It's called muscle memory. Muscle memory sets your brain up to do the exact same thing it wants it to do. Pitcher wants to throw a strike. Hitter wants to hit a home run. That's called muscle memory. You want your body to do something in a repetitive way without thinking about it. You create muscle memory. So when you put your phone away and you start doing sort of a routine at night that gets you ready for bed, you're telling your body it's time to go to sleep now. And by not playing on your phone or your iPad, those kind of things, that helps you do that. So if you put that away, it will set your mind and your body up to go to sleep. And that does help you to sleep better at night. I am a person who struggles with sleep, and when I get really stressed, I struggle even more. When the world goes into a global pandemic and you're uncertain about everything, I struggle a little bit more. Things like that affect you every single day. So putting the news away, putting all that stuff away does help you get ready for sleep. For me, I need a little bit of noise, so it was a hard adjustment. So the app, Headspace, I think that's what it's called. Headspace just, I'm looking it up as I talk to you. Yeah, Headspace. Headspace, at one point in time, I don't know if the promo is still running, but at one point in time, anybody who had been laid off or furloughed due to COVID could sign up for Headspace for free for a year. And so I took advantage of that. I signed up for that. So instead of having a TV on or something like that, I listened to the stories, the meditative stories on Headspace. So that plays in the background and I fall asleep nicely. So no electronics an hour before bed. Set your mind up to go to sleep. Good night's sleep means you can wake up earlier. So that's your 3 tips. Find your good wake up time, nobody else's but yours. Do not hit snooze and put your phone away 1 hour before bed. So that's all your tips for how to wake up earlier and find time for self-care. Now, for your tiny tip for joy for this week, I would like you to go out and buy yourself some flowers. Nobody needs to buy you flowers. You can buy your own flowers. I was in the express line at the grocery store. They have flowers right there in the bin for $8.99. Brilliant marketing, by the way, because I reached over and grabbed me some flowers, put it in my basket, and took it home. And they've been in the kitchen this week, and every time I look at them, they bring me a little smile. Didn't need anyone to do that for me, just did it for myself and been smiling every day for 3 days now. So you bring yourself a tiny tip for joy and go get yourself some flowers and bring yourself some joy. So that's it. That's all I have for this week. My name's Anissa. If you need a moderator, facilitator, or MC for your next virtual event, I would love to be that person for you. So hit me up on my socials at This Is All Anissa. I am on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. And also, I would love, love, love your feedback on my videos. So if you are on any of those channels and you've seen the video, please, please, please comment below. If you have a tip or trick that worked for you, I'd love to hear what it is. I'll give you a shout out in the video. I'd like to have some dialogue going. So please, please let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much. I'll see you all again soon and have a great day. Bye-bye.